No ECW tonight. ECW airs Thursday night, and SmackDown airs Friday night. Full spoilers for both of those shows are on the main news board. Jose telling me wrestling, Clark, wrestling. We got time to kill, Jose.
I enjoy the fact that we can communicate about the world events, but
no, we got to do a
7:20.
I know. We did this last week too, though. Me and what was it last week? Was it you last week, or no? Did I have Boone on here? I had somebody.
Yeah, Boone on there.
I don't know. We just ranted and raved for about 20 minutes. We got to do a show where I can just talk gossip. You know what I mean? No, I'm serious. I got to do something, man. Maybe a Thursday night show or something like that. Not that anybody would show up. You know what I mean? But whatever. It's worth a shot. All right. Monday Night Raw from last night. It was taped last Tuesday night. No, it was taped last Monday night. In San Jose at the HP Pavilion. What'd you think overall last night's show? I thought the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase, man, bring him in on a weekly basis for Raw General Manager. You know what I mean? He was outstanding last night.
He has a character with authority. I mean, if you go in and see some of his old vintage clips, he's remarkable. He has that deep throat deep voice that just brings out the energy out of the crowd. And it's funny because yesterday you didn't know if he was face, you didn't know if he was heel. He played a perfect role behind it.
Yeah, just awesome from him start to finish. And then Ted DiBiase Sr. or Jr. And Cody Rhodes, when they both had backstage promos, were awesome, man. I think Ted DiBiase is, God, man, this is tough. This is shut up. All these IMs coming in at once. They all know, too. You know what I mean? Everybody knows that from Tuesday night, 7 to 9 Eastern time, yet nobody seems to get it, Jose. Go away. You know what I mean? For 2 hours, go away on a Tuesday night, man. But, no, Cody Rhodes and Ted DiBiase in their respective segments backstage were really outstanding in those roles as well. I think I see Ted DiBiase Sr. or Jr. I'm going to mess that up over and over, but because they both refer to him as Ted DiBiase. You know what I mean? They never say Junior or Senior. It's always Ted DiBiase, or it was last night. But Ted DiBiase Jr. I see as when he goes face. I think they can push him to the moon, especially after last night with the backstage segments. And a lot of that show, it was taped a week in advance, so you can edit a lot of that. Like the Divas match from last night, which we'll talk about here in a minute, was good. You know what I mean? But every Divas match that I've seen on a live show has been, almost unwatchable. You know what I mean? If it wasn't for the Divas in there, it was ridiculous. You know what I mean? So maybe there was some serious editing that went on last night, and especially the crowd. Mike Shalick, who we met down in New York City for Ring of Honor, said, "Man, is that crowd muted in? You know what I mean, or filled in? What's the word I'm looking for? Where they do
voice over more of a crowd." Something that they notoriously do on SmackDown. You sit there and you're like, wow, the crowd is popping, but every single person that you see in the arena is sitting down eating popcorn, or you're like, wow, that's amazing how they're all cheering and they're sitting down at the same time.
I know, and that was a big problem last night too. It's probably taking me. You know what I mean? Just taking everything apart, match by match, critiquing. You know what I mean? And then I have to come on here and bitch about it.
But they did have some good, some good spots at the, at the show itself. Of course, you have the continuation with Legacy, and then, we saw a conversation between Ted DiBiase Jr. and Randy Orton, which is amazing because I know Jim Ross recently wrote on his blog that it's a main event that we'll see at WrestleMania some decade from now, or within the next couple of years, and it is true. If you see DiBiase Jr., and he continues working the mic, continues selling himself inside that ring, he does have a very impactful future with the WWE. They may have found their kind of like hidden jewel, so to say, in Junior.
Yeah. We'll have to wait and see because I think he's going to go face eventually, and it looks like they're continuing to tease that here in the next few months, and then maybe Jack Swagger. you know, as a way to get Jack Swagger into the mix. If one goes out of the legacy, bang, bring in Jack Swagger. I know he's not a second-generation superstar or anything like that, but if you want to get spotlight on the guy, I mean, your main angle on Monday Night Raw right now is obviously the legacy angle. So, you know, if you were going to take one out and put another one in, I would say Jack Swagger is your man. You know what I mean? And they set that up.
He's definitely an option. I think, you know, they're not going to break up legacy anytime soon. And then, of course, you know, we have the Hart Foundation, which is they're in SmackDown. If we're talking long-term, SummerSlam time, it wouldn't surprise if, you know, they're traded to Raw or they're some sort of way fitting them into the Raw roster.
Right. So we opened up Monday Night Raw with Ted DiBiase. He came out with Cody Rhodes and Ted DiBiase Jr. in tow. Basically said that he was the guest host for tonight, and he was going to make a few matches. He makes Cody Rhodes against Mark Henry and Ted DiBiase Jr. against Randy Orton for tonight. Good opening segment with Ted DiBiase on the mic, and you know that theme continued all night with the backstage segments that involved DiBiase Sr. I mean, there wasn't one bad segment that involved him. You know what I mean? So it started off the night right. The DiBiase Sr. promo was very well done with Rhodes and DiBiase, and then we had Primo and Carlito against Edge and Chris Jericho. Do you know how many emails I got last night after that show was over where everybody said, Edge looks okay to me, Edge looks fine to me, and they taped this, and this is coming from readers that read the website. You know what I mean? I mean, they get my email off the website. So did you miss something? Maybe last week?
Apparently they missed the spoilers report on Tuesday.
Yeah, I guess, or just completely overlooked it that the show was taped. Somebody in the chat, guest 59, shout him out, I guess. Santino, I call him Santino now. Santino Marella. We haven't seen him in 2 weeks. You know what I mean? I mean, we didn't see him last week, and we didn't see him last night as well. But I like that. As long as there's no trouble, no backstage heat or anything like that. Which I haven't heard
I think it's
on.
just one of those things. Same thing with the Miz. We haven't heard from the Miz yet. We certainly didn't see him last week or this week. I'm sorry. So I think it's just simple fact that not to run him too much on TV because. Again, the Miz didn't really, in my opinion at least, he didn't get really over, probably as what they really expect him to do. I mean, they give the guy the credit, putting all the effort into it, but, you know, same thing in this situation with MVP. But MVP is picking it up a little bit.
That's true. I mean, they looked like they were going to push MVP to the moon there for a minute, and then, and then it went away, and then he was back last night with the MVP Lounge segment that they did. But, I don't know. I mean, to not have The Miz on Monday Night Raw last night coming off a program with John Cena, I mean, the guy's hot right now, you know what I mean? I mean, Santino's act, sure. You don't want to abuse that week after week after week, you know what I mean? Because that'll get stale quick. But The Miz, I don't know. Maybe, I mean, I know we've seen a lot of mic work from him in recent weeks, which can, I mean, it can run its course.
I mean, it runs its course so many times, and when the guy is not really strong on the mic, or at least getting over with the crowd almost immediately, especially in this day of age, it's just they need to move quickly. Not saying that he's going to be a jobber now. He'll come next week. He'll probably continue his storyline. I don't think they're giving up on him, but having him give like the week off kind of just rejuvenates his character. So this way, when he comes back next week, it's just like, okay, same thing with Santino. It's almost kind of like the same level, but Santino is more like a gold, kind of like a special appearance type of, gimmick.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully there's not any heat or anything on Santino. The Miz kind of surprised. I don't know. I just thought, once you push a guy, right, like they did the Miz, and then bang, it's almost like, wow, we don't see him last night, and it's, I don't know. I don't think they should give up. I mean, not that they're giving up, but I think, you have to put him in prominent role after prominent role after prominent role in order to get him over. I mean, you want to get these younger guys over, you put them in a major main event feud, and then that ends, and you take them right off TV. I mean, I don't know if that's the right way.
Well, it's just he's not getting. It's not like he's hot. I mean, he's hot, yeah, because we see him on TV. But if you hear the crowd reaction, they're not getting him, right now. And I think that's the reason why they said, all right, you know what, we'll give him 1 week off. And not saying that he's going to be on next week. I mean, if he's not on next week, then it's not a good thing.